warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is HILMAN bin Muhammad FAUZI and I'm from CS110 FAUZI. So today I will be the one who gonna do a demo for our mobile apps, and we are from Slebew Sports Center Management System. So first thing first, in order for the user to log into our mobile apps, they need to sign up and create a new account. So as you can see at the bottom of the screen, there are 4 types of different buttons, which is login, sign up, update, and also delete. So to create a new account, they just need to press the sign up button, and then this will bring them to the sign up screen, which they need to fill in all the information, which is ID, password, email, and phone number. So let's fill the first ID, the password, email, and last but not least, phone number. And once they finish fill in all the information, they just need to press the submit button, and the data has been saved. So this is the data that has been saved. The ID customer that I just entered, which is 2020 479 312, and the password SHAUQI, and also the email. So once they finish create a new account, they just need to press the arrow back button, and our apps will bring them back to the login screen, which they need to enter their ID and also password in order to get into the menu screen. So yes, now my ID is and my password is, and as you can see here, there are selection between admin and customer. So right now I will log in as customer, and just press the login, and the login will be successful. And at the top of the menu screen, there are 4 different type of button or icon, which is futsal, badminton, volleyball, and ping pong. So if the customer want to book a futsal court, they just simply need to press the futsal icon right at the top, and if they want to book a badminton court, just press the badminton, and same goes to volleyball and ping pong. And at the middle of the screen, there is a preview section where customer can get the looks of our court when they arrive at our sports center. And at the bottom of the list, we show them the court, all the court list for every type of sport. So for the futsal, the sport ID is S1, and badminton is S2, volleyball is S3, and ping pong is S4. We also provide them the court ID for every type of sport, which is futsal starting from C1 until C3, and badminton starting from C4 until C8, and volleyball is starting from C9 until C10, and ping pong is starting from C11 to C12. So let's say I want to book a futsal court. So I will press the futsal button at the top of the screen, and then this I will bring them to futsal screen where they need to fill in all the information that our apps needs. So the sports ID for futsal is S1, and they need to enter their customer ID and the court ID, which is C1, and the date they will be playing, the time, and the total hour for the book they want to book. So once they fill in all the information, simply just press the next button, and all the data will be saved, and it will bring them to the booking checkout screen, which all the information they enter will be shown, so that they can double check their information whether it's correct or not. And we also show them the total price that they will need to pay, which is 100 ringgit, because for futsal court, the price for 1 hour is 50 ringgit. So I want to show to you that the book information that they just enter will go straight to our database, which is S1 is for futsal, their ID customer, their code ID, date and also time, and the total hour they will be paid. Okay, once they have double checked their information, and if the information is true, they need to press the order button and the order will be successful. And for example, if they want to book badminton court for the next week, just press the arrow back button and they will go back to the menu screen, and just press the badminton button and they need to fill in the same type of information, which is sports ID. For badminton is S2, their customer ID, the code ID, which is badminton is starting from C4 until C9, and the date they will be playing, and the time. So I want to play around 8 o'clock, and the total hour for their playing time, and then just press the next button and their data has been saved. So let's see whether the data has been sent to the database or not. So here the second data for the badminton, which is the ID spot is S2 and their ID customer, code ID, date, time and also hour. Okay, so again they can check whether the information is all true or there's slightly different or not. If all the information is true, they can just simply press order and the order is successful. And also the total price they will need to pay for badminton court is 40 ringgit, which badminton court price for 1 hour is 20 ringgit. So once they have book and they feel that there's nothing they want to book, they can just press the logout button and they will log out from our system. So for the admin view, they need to enter their ID and also password in order to retrieve all the book information by customer just now. So I will enter the ID and password for the admin 1001 and password is. So I already entered the existing data for staff. So Amir Hamzah will be the one who gonna check the information of book code by the customer. So I will just press I will select the admin and just press login. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So this is all the information of the book code by customer, which is just now I already booked for futsal court, which is the sports ID is S1 and the badminton is S2. And after the admin has get the information of the book code by the customer, they can just log out from the apps. Okay. Our apps also provide the user whether they want to update or delete their account. So if they want to update or delete their account, as you can see here, there are two button which is update and delete at the bottom of the screen. So if they want to update, just press the update button, and if they want to delete their account, just press the delete button. So once they press the update button, it will bring them to the screen of update or delete account. So let's say I want to update my email and also phone number. So I need to enter my ID, which is 479 312, and my password, and my email I want to update to HILMAN, and my new phone number is 013. Okay. As you can see here, my existing data is before this is MEOR@gmail.com, and my phone number is 016-625-4657. So I want to update my email and also my phone number. So I will just press the update button, and my data has been updated. So right here, my email has changed to hilman@gmail.com, and this is my new phone number. So if I want to delete my account, I can just simply press the delete button and my account will be deleted. So right here, the data has been deleted from our database. So I think that's all from me. Thank you. Now I will explain to you guys about the user interface and also the blocks code. So we are using text box for the user to enter their ID, and also password text box for the user password. And also we also use spinner for user to select whether they are logged in as admin or as customer. And as you can see here, inside this box actually there are two buttons, which is login button, and also on the right is sign up button, and at the bottom of the screen another two button is update and delete. So the blocks code is when user press the button 1, which is login button, this program will check whether the spinner selection is equal to customer or equal to admin. If the spinner selection is equal to customer, the web1 URL will set to login.php file, and then it will post the data from the text box for ID customer, and also the password text box for the password. And this is the login file. Once we get the customer ID and also their password from the text box that we set just now, we will check whether the ID and also the password is matched with their account. So the query is select all from customer, where ID customer equal to ID customer, and also the password is equal to password. If the data is same, and the data is in the database, we will output login successful. But if the SQL is got error, we will output login fail. Okay, once web1 got the text, we will use notifier to show the user the response code, which is this one, login successful or login fail. And if the response content is equal to login successful, then you will enter another statement, which is if spin1.selection is equal to customer, it will open another screen which bring them to menu screen. And else, if the response content is equal to login successful and the spinner selection is equal to admin, it will open another screen which will bring them to admin screen. But if there is a problem or the web one doesn't got any text, the notifier one will show alert about to notice them to checking connection. And this is the blocks code for button sign up. If they press sign up button, it will bring them to another screen which is sign up screen. And this is for the button update, which will bring them to update and delete screen. And the same goes to delete button. Once they press, it will bring them to update and delete screen. Now I will explain to you about the sign up page and the update and delete screen. So like I said, there's actually a sign up button here. Okay, once the user choose for example, if the user is new, they need to create a new account. So they can create the new account by pressing the sign up button, and it will bring them to the sign up screen, which is right here. Okay, so they need to fill in all the information that our apps needs, which is the ID, which they can enter whatever ID they want, and also the password, email and phone number. And once they press the submit button, the web one URL will set to signup.php file, and then we will post text from the web one to the PHP file, and which you can see here, this is the variable that will be posted, and the data will be posted, which is from the text box for ID, and this is for password, and this is for email, and this is for number phone. Okay, once the web one has posted the text to sign up.php file, we need to declare, as usual, we need to declare the variable to get the data from the text box right here, and then we will do a query, which is select all from customer where ID customer is equal to customer. So this is for to check the data, whether the data is already created, and then we will declare a variable check to check the number of rows in the table. So if the check is more than 0, that means that there is a duplicate data, which means the ID has been used to create an account, or the account is already has been created. Else, if the data is not a duplicate data, you will run a query to insert into customer table, which is the ID, password, email and number phone, and the value of the variable into the customer table. Okay, once the connection is okay and the SQL query is able to run, we will output and tell the user that the data has been saved, and also we close the connection right here. So as you can see here, once the web one got text, we will use notifier one and get the response code, which is this one, data has been saved, and we will show alert and notice them that their data has been saved. Okay, after they done create their account, they can just press the back button, which is right here, and then it will bring them back to the screen 1, which is the login screen. And then they can just enter their ID and password that they have just created from the sign up screen, and then log in as usual. Okay, once the user has logged in as customer, it will bring them to menu screen, and as you can see here, okay, as you can see here, there are 4 type of button, or you can assume it as icon, which they can press to choose whether type of sports they want to book a court for. So if they want to book a futsal court, they can just press this button, and if they want to book a badminton court, they can just press the badminton icon here, and same goes to volleyball and ping pong. And in the middle of menu screen, we provide them a preview section so that they can get the looks once they arrive at our support center. And at the bottom of menu screen, we also show them the sports code for futsal, badminton, volleyball and ping pong, and also the code ID which they need to enter to book their futsal court. So for the futsal, the code ID is starting from C1 until C3, and for the badminton, the code ID is starting from C4 until C8, and for volleyball, the code ID is starting from C9 until C10, and last but not least, for the ping pong, the code ID is starting from 11 until 12. And then when they, for example, if they choose to book a futsal court and they press the futsal icon right here, it will bring them to the futsal screen. Wait. So this is the source code for the book.php file. Firstly, we need to declare the variable so that we can post the data or get the data from the text box that we just assigned here. We will run a SQL query, which is we will insert all the data to the book table. So the query is insert into book, ID bracket, ID spot, ID customer, ID code, date, time and hour, values, which is the variable that we declare, and you will insert all the data into the book table. And also we will check whether the connection is connect to the database, and if the connection is okay and the data is go into the database, we will output and tell the user that the data has been saved. And also we also save all the information from the text box that we just assigned here to the TinyDB. And once they press next, it will bring them to the booking checkout screen. And right here, as you can see here, we also create another text box which to declare or to make a TinyDB for the total that they need to pay. So the text box 12 is for hour. So from the hour the user put, we just multiply with the price of the futsal court, which is 50 ringgit. And we also use notifier to get the response code, which is the data has been saved, so that the user will know whether their data is safe or not. And if they press the back button right here, it will bring back to the menu screen. Okay, once the booking, the user has made the booking, it will all the data will be inserted to our database, which is the book table. So here is the ID spot that we get, and the ID customer, the code ID, date and time, and also hour. And I forgot to show to you about the login. So here, once they log in, it will check whether the customer and password is the same. Okay. And for the booking checkout screen, just now, we also store all the data that user have insert, which is for ID, code ID, date, time, and also the hour, and also we will show the total price that they will need to pay. So we are using the TinyDB to get back all the data which they have insert from the screen, futsal screen, and then we will change the label to the data that they have insert. So as you can see here, once the booking checkout screen initialized, we will set the label text to the ID, which is the sports ID. And if the value tag is not there, we will inform them that data is not found. And same goes to label for code ID, and the label for date, label for time, and also label for hour. And also the label 41 is for the total price that they need to pay. And once the user click the button 1, which is order button, we will clear all the data, so that if they want to book another code, it will not show the same data. And after they press the button 2, which is logout button, we will bring them back to the screen 1, which is where they need to log in to enter to our apps. Okay, now I will explain about for the view admin. So just now, earlier, I told you about the selection, right? So if the spinner selection is user press admin, it will bring them to the admin screen, and the web one at the screen 1 blocks code will set the URL to login stuff.php file, which as you can see here, there are separate file for login for customer, and this is for staff login. So same goes to staff. We will get all the data from the text box, from the screen 1 text box, and we need to declare the variable so that we post to login stuff.php file. and we will check the data first, which is select all from store where ID and password, where ID and password is equal to the data in this database, which we insert it manually because the admin is already have the data. So if the data is all the same in the database, we will tell them the login is successful. But if they do not found the data or the ID or the password is incorrect, we will output login fail. And if the login is successful, they will go to admin screen, which as you can see here, this is the admin screen. The admin can see all the information of book code by the customer, and this is the plot code. When the admin screen is initialized, we use notifier 1 to tell them for to tell them a message which is please wait for a moment, and also loading. And once the admin screen is initialized, we will set the web1.url to a PHP file which is read.php. So in the read.php, we will do a SQL query which is select all from book, and then we will output to make a table. For example, right here, this is for the sports ID for here, and this is for the customer ID right here, and this is for the code ID which is right here, and also the date, time and hour which is right here, date, time and hour. And then once the web1 got text from the read.php file, we will call notifier 1 to get the response code, and then we'll initialize a local name and split them to this one BR, which is a new line, so that will become separate. And then we are using list view to output the data from the database, which is from the book database. So this is all the output will be shown in the list view. So as you can see here, after we get the response content and split them to a new line, we will set the list view elements to get name. Get name is from we do right here. And if the notifier 1, if the web1 doesn't got any text, we will call notifier 1 to show a message dialog, which is the message is please check your connection, and the title for the notifier is connecting, and we will show a button text which is okay. And once the once the admin get all the information of book code by the customer, they can log out from their account, which is will bring them back to the screen 1, which is the login screen. Okay. So if the user want to update their account, as I told you earlier, there is actually an update button right here, and also a delete button right here. So if the user want to delete or update their account, they can just press either of these two buttons, which will bring them to the update and delete account screen. So to update their account, they need to fill in all the information first, which is their ID, password, email, and number phone. If they want to update their account, they will need to enter their ID, which is their existing ID, and the only data that they can only update is only password, email, and phone number. They cannot update their ID. So if they press the update button, we will call the web1 URL and set them to the update.php file, and then the web1 will post stats to the variable ID customer and password and email and also number phone, and this is the data will be sent to the update.php file. So once we declare the variable, we will check the data first, whether the ID customer is in the database or the table of customer or not. So if the data we will need to create a check variable to check the number of rows from the table. If the check is more than 0, that means we can do a query to update their information, which is ID customer, password, email, and number phone. And the data and the output will tell them that the data has been updated. If the data is not in the customer table, we will tell them that the data is not found. If the user choose to delete the account, they can just press the delete button, and then we will call another web, which is web2, and set the URL to delete.php file. And then we will call the web2 to post the text to the delete.php file, and we will set the variable to ID customer, password, email, and number phone, and this is the data that will be sent to delete.php file. So this is the source code for the delete.php file. So we will declare first the ID customer, and then once they got the ID customer, we will run the query to check the data, whether the data is in the customer table or not, and then we will declare a variable to check the rows in the table. And if the check is greater than 0, we will run another query to delete from customer where ID customer is equal to ID customer. So if the ID is same with the one in the table customer, their account will be deleted, and we will tell them that the data has been deleted. And else, if the data is not found, we will tell them the data is not found. And we will notice them by using the notifier, which is right here. We will call the notifier, and if the get response code is equal to 200, we will call the notifier to show alert and notice, which is get response content, which is right here. Data has been deleted, and also the data has not found if the data is not in the table or the database. Same goes to the update button right here. We'll get the response content and call the notifier to show the user that whether their data has been updated or their data is not found.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is MOHAMAD bin RAHIM. Today I'm with my group. I will show you the user guide of our website, and we will teach you how to use our website. This is our main page, Slebew Sports Center. This website is to book your court and manage your sports game using this platform. If we click the Slebew Spot Center in the left top. This it will back to our main page. Next, if we click the create account, it will show the sign up place for the new customer, and the customer must enter the ID, email, phone number, and password. Next, we will submit, and it will show data have been saved for the new customer. Then we go to login. Enter the data, password, and submit. Next, I will pass to HAZIQ AIMAN.
Now I will explain about how to book using our website. Customer can choose their sports preferable, either volleyball, ping pong, futsal, and badminton. If they click book now, the system will show this site and they can choose number of court, date, start time, and play hour. If they have choose, you can check out. And this is the receipt of the booking code. Alright. Check out. Then it will show your booking successful. Next, you can click my book to see your booking history. This is the booking history. If you want to refund, you can click the refund button. And system will delete the history of the booking. Next, customer can click my profile to check their profile. In this site, customer can change their password, email, or number phone. Now I change the password to Hansel, and customer can click edit profile. System show data edit successful. Okay. And the profile now has changed password to Hansel. Okay. Then customer can click logout to log out from their account. That's all. Next, I will give to MEOR.
Okay, next we will continue with admin page. First, we must enter admin ID and password. Then submit button. Password. This is page where only admin can go in. First, same like user, admin also can go book volleyball, ping pong, and futsal badminton for admin use. Next, admin also can look all the list booking by enter push the list booking. Admin also can find customer using ID booking or customer ID. Like example, we search NAFEEZ, customer ID NAFEEZ. The NAFEEZ ID customer NAFEEZ will show. Next, admin also can delete the booking. Example, we will delete one booking, delete successful, and then the booking has been deleted. Next, we can admin also can look at list customer. This is all the customer list. Admin also can delete customer by press the delete button. Like example, we will delete Izul information. Delete successful. Okay. Also, we can find the customer by customer ID like MIQDAD. We will search MIQDAD. Okay, search button. MIQDAD will appear. Next, same like user, admin also can change the information in my profile. Like password, we will change password to from AAA to handsome. Handsome. Okay. After that, just edit profile and yeah, data edit successful. Go to my profile. Look, our password has been changed. So I think that's all. We can log up. I will pass to Nafis.
Okay. Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nafis. Okay, next I will explain about our coding, our PHP coding. And this is for login coding. First, we will get the ID and password that user put in the form, and we will check if there is the data in table customer or table staff that has the same ID and password. And if there is one, then they will go to the index customer. But if the admin has one, the admin will go to admin interface. But if they put the wrong, but if there is none, which means there is they put wrong password or wrong ID, it will alert wrong password or ID, and we go to the login page. Okay, next for sign out, we will get the ID, email, number phone, and password from the previous form, and we will check data whether the ID is already used or not. If there is already used, it will say duplicate data, and you will go to the sign out page. But if if the ID is available, it will insert into the customer table, and it will alert data has been saved and go to the login session. Okay, next I will show you about checkout. Checkout, we will get the ID code, date, time, play hour, and total, and we will check in the database whether the order is already there. We check ID code, date, and time, whether other customer already booked at that time. If there is the data, it will alert that to the customer that time already occupied and go to the index customer interface. Okay, next. If there is no ID code, date, and time in the database, it will insert into the book, the table book, and it will alert booking successful and go to the customer interface. Okay, next for delete customer, and this is for coding for delete customer. It will get the ID customer, and the query is delete from customer where ID equal to ID customer, and it will show that the delete is successful. It will alert the delete has successful and go to the list customer. Okay, next for delete order. First we will get the ID order and ID role, whether it was customer that delete or admin that delete. Okay. It will delete the ID order, and if admin that delete the order, it will alert delete successful and go to the list book, which is the admin interface. And if the customer that delete it, it will alert delete successful and go to my book, which is on the customer interface. Okay, next for admin book is the same with checkout. It get the ID, code, date, time, but it will not enter the ID customer data because this is admin that book it, not a customer. Okay. Next for edit profile. This is for edit profile. It will get the ID and get the role, whether it is admin or not. Okay, if the role is admin, it will update from the staff table and go to the admin interface. But if the update is if the role is customer, it will update from table customer and the data edit successful will alert and index customer, and it will go to index customer. Okay, I think that's all from us. Thank you for watching.